Pause the video now, year 12 and year 13, and have a look. Can you get 6 marks on this SURDS question aimed at year 12 students, so 17 to 18 and 16-year-olds as well, okay, in the UK? Part I. Solve the equation x plus root 12 equals x root 3, writing the answer as a SURD in its simplest form. Again, it's the word 3 marks. So our job is obviously rearrange here, obviously make x the subject. So I'm going to subtract x root 3 on both sides and subtract root 12 on both sides. So we're going to have x minus x root 3 is equal to minus root 12 or negative root 12. What's next? Well, I'm now going to factor out an x. So I'm going to have x brackets x times what is x, x times 1 is x, and x times what is minus x root 3. That'll be minus root 3. That'll be equal to minus root 12 or negative root 12. I'm now going to divide by 1 minus root 3 on both sides of my equation to get x by itself. So I'm going to get x is equal to minus root 12 or negative root 12 all over 1 minus root 3. I'm now going to rationalize this. So multiply top and bottom of the fraction by the conjugate of the denominator. So I'm going to flip the sign of this. So it's going to be 1 plus root 3 over 1 plus root 3. And the reason for that, guys, is whenever we are rationalizing here, the denominator, okay, if it's in the form a plus root b or a minus root b, that we want to obviously create a difference of 2 squares on the bottom. Hence, we rationalize and we get rid of the surd on the denominator, okay? So on the bottom, we do 1 times 1, which is 1, and then minus the number inside the surd, so minus 3. Because a negative times a positive makes a negative. Root 3 times root 3 is root 9, which is equal to 3, and I put the minus there, okay? So overall, it's over minus 2 on the bottom. On the top, what do I have? Well, I've got negative root 12 times 1. That's going to be negative root 12 or minus root 12. Then I've got negative root 12 times positive root 3. That'll be negative or minus root 36. Okay, root 36 is equal to 6. Root 12 can be simplified into root 4 times root 3. So simplifying here, root 12. So root 12 is going to be equal to root 4 multiplied by root 3. So root 4 times root 3. Root 4 is equal to 2. We have 2 lots of root 3, which is going to be 2 root 3. So I can now write this as minus 2 root 3 and then minus 6. Divide everything top and bottom by minus 2. I get left to just root 3 plus 3, or better yet, I write it as 3 plus root 3. So 3 plus the square root of 3. And that, guys, is worth 3 marks, okay? So I first rearranged it to make x the subject. So I subtracted x root 3 on both sides and subtracted root 12 on both sides to give me this equation here. I then factored out the x, okay, divided through by 1 minus root 3, and then rationalized the denominator by multiplying the top and bottom, by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. Okay, so essentially this, but we flip the sign in the middle, okay, to create the difference of 2 squares. So dots on the denominator, hence rationalizing, hence getting rid of the surd on the bottom of the fraction, or hence rationalizing it, okay? So I no longer have a surd on the bottom. So our answer, guys, is 3 plus root 3. Okay, so well done, yeah, well done if you got that. Good job. Okay, next part. Solve the equation. Okay, 9 to the power of 3x minus 1 is equal to 3 root 3. Okay, so I'm guessing this might involve part I or maybe not. Okay, so step 1 is I'm going to write everything as a power of 3. Okay, so on the left hand side, well, 9 is equal to 3 squared. So I'm going to have 3 squared in brackets to the power of 3x minus 1. Okay, I'm just rewriting 9 as a power of 3. So 9 equals 3 times 3, or 3 squared, or 3 to the power of 2. That's going to equal to, well, here I've got 3 to the power of 1, and I'm multiplying that by root 3. Root 3 can be written as a power of a half, so 3 to the power of a half. Okay, what's next? Well, let's obviously simplify here, left and right hand side. So when it's a power to a power, so using my index laws from GCSE maths, I can multiply, the powers together, okay? When it's one bracket raised to power raised to another power, I have 3 to the power of 6x minus 3. So 2 times 3x is going to be 6x, and then 2 times minus 1 is going to be minus 2. That's going to equal to, well, here, when I multiply with the same base, I'm going to add the powers, add the indices, add the exponents. 1 plus a half makes 1.5, or I'm going to write it as 3 halves, okay, as that, because 1 whole equals 2 halves. 2 halves plus 1 half makes 3 halves. I'm now going to compare the coefficient of the powers of 3. So I'm going to have 6x minus 2 equals 3 halves, or I'm going to write here as 1.5 just for the sake of practice. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, add 2, and then divide by 6. So I'm going to have 6x is equal to 3.5. I don't want 6x, I just want x. So I'm going to divide everything by 6 and have x is equal to 3.56, okay? But I don't like having a decimal as a fraction, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 10. So I have x equals 35/60ths, which if I simplify that, okay, so cancel it down, divide top and bottom by 5, if I'm not mistaken, we get 7/12, or 7/12. So x equals 7/12, or I can decimalize it if I want to, but I'm going to leave it as a fraction, okay, because in A-level maths, guys, we've got to get in the habit of obviously leaving our answer in exact form, so leave it in fractional form in terms of pi as a third, etc., okay, unless it wants here as a decimal, then of course use your Casio calculator, that's fine. Okay, so that was 2 questions here worth 6 marks in total that could appear at the end of a year 12 assessment, so an AS pure maths paper, or even an end of year 13 paper, okay, or if anyone here is revising or learning AS pure maths content, then hopefully this has been helpful, okay? So a lot of this here obviously is GCSE recap, but this is aimed at year 12s and year 13s, so 16, 17, 18 and 19-year-olds, okay, in the UK, okay, for AS level maths, okay, for Edexcel, OCRA, OCRB, MEI and AQA exam board, okay? Thanks for watching.